This is Hoosier Ag Today, Indiana's farm network. I'm Eric Pfeiffer. We're back at the Indiana State Fair, and today it's for the official unveiling of the big cheese sculpture. For 17 years now, the American Dairy Association of Indiana has brought in over 1,000 pounds of cheese and turned it into something beautiful. And again, they're on point this year with the theme, basketball. More coming next from Hoosier Ag Today.
3, 2, 1.
17 years now, over 1,000 pounds of cheese coming in here and turning it into something really neat like this. Why is it so important to you and to the American Dairy Association Indiana?
It's a great way, the crowd here today, it's a great way to grab the public's attention and to be able to talk about dairy and to talk about the food that the dairy farmers create. So we have to, just like the TikToks and all that, we have to make it interesting, and carving art out of over 1,000 pounds of cheese definitely gets people's attention.
And I know Brooke giving away some cheese sticks around didn't hurt either, but it's all about that. It's all about promoting this industry. And you know, the folks from Pace Dairy were here, the folks from Kroger were here. It's all about getting more folks out and getting more cheese, more dairy, more yogurt, everything. Sure.
So our cheese sculptor, Nancy, she would talk about throughout the time about all the messaging of the nutrition in cheese and dairy farming. And yes, thanks to Kroger and Pace, working with our community, they have donated that 1,000 pounds of cheese. And so we're encouraging people to go buy cheese at your local grocery store. And also at the end of the fair, this actually travels up north to Biotown, and we can talk about then the digester and how that creates electricity and energy. So really the full circle of dairy farming from farm to all the way to the end to where it's actually now talking about sustainability.
Here at the cheese sculpture, all this cheese, this beautiful cheese behind me, was donated by Pace Dairy, and I have their CEO, Bill Kuntz, with me. And Bill, just talk about why you find it so important at Pace Dairy to make sure that this happens each year here at the State Fair.
Well, we're really proud of what we do at Pace Dairy with making all the cheese for the Kroger and East divisions. And we like to really share what we do, and this is just a part of it. It's a wonderful thing to share by donating this and promote milk, promote cheese, and really show off what we can do.
Now, you do the 640-pound blocks of cheese. That's not necessarily what you're putting in the Kroger stores, but you have plenty of other things in there, right?
Yes, we do. We take that and cut it down into smaller blocks where we slice it up or shred it and then put it in a bag.
And again, this is something that I'm sure the dairy folks want to do for a long time. You guys in it for a long time here too?
Yep, we're in it. We'll do it every year.
So for many years here, the cheese sculpture was done by Sarah Kaufman, the cheese lady. Family emergency took her out of the process this year, but some friends jumped in, helped out. Nancy Baker is here. Nancy, you've been a long-time art teacher, I understand, and now sculpting things like cheese and other foods. This is your first time to Indiana, I understand, in the Indiana State Fair. What's the experience been like?
It's been an awesome experience, to get to come to a really cool place and do something really cool with cool people. You can't beat that, and I love sculpting cheese, so it's been an adventure. And, Sarah has set the bar very high, so there was some stress behind the smile, but I hope I did her proud, and I hope I did the fair proud.
Just take us through this process. We've mentioned over 1,000 pounds of cheese was brought in, and you managed to turn it into something beautiful like this. Take us through that process.
Okay, great. Yeah, so the cheese comes in, and there is a forklift involved because it's very heavy. It took us about 3 days to really get the cooler set. Has to be in an environment that can maintain the cheese for 3 weeks while we work on it. And, once it's in place, we work with patterns. If you put a pattern, an outline of what you're doing, then if somebody else comes in to sculpt, they know exactly where to cut. So got the sculpting going, and that's when I just kind of lose myself. I just go in and, I don't know, that's my happy place. But there is construction involved, and you got to think.
Nancy, thanks for coming to Indiana and taking this one on.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I hope to be back.
This is becoming a tradition here at the Indiana State Fair, and the tradition will continue for a long time, I hope.
Yes, as long as we can find someone to sculpt cheese, because the cheese sculptor is a little rare. But yes, we plan on doing that. So it started in 2006, and each year it gets a little different, a little bit more unique, and a little bit more detail. So we can't wait to see what next year's holds.
I think that Jenny might have to, pick up some classes here soon. Start doing it yourself. Let's talk about everything else going on here at the Indiana State Fair. The Dairy Bar, as always. I know last year the big emphasis is at the Dairy Bar, or Dairy Barn. It doesn't matter. You should still visit there regardless of what you call it. A lot of neat things there this year.
That's right. So we every year we churn out about 70,000 milkshakes, and then also about 50,000 grilled cheeses. So we have all of our old favorites back. So we have strawberry, vanilla, and chocolate milkshakes, and we brought back the chocolate cookie mint with the thin mint cookie on top. And then our new grilled cheese this year is the Italian melt. So that's provolone and sourdough with pesto served with marinara sauce. So people have really loved that sandwich, and the favorite shake right now is the chocolate shake.
I had that Italian melt the other night, and it's kind of like a mozzarella stick, a little bit like in sandwich form. It's delicious. So, but you also have mozzarella sticks down there too, all sorts of things.
Mozzarella sticks, milk, and we keep the prices cheap. And if you bring your baby bottle, we'll give you some milk to fill it up for free. We're really encouraging our dairy farmers really want to encourage the nutrition of milk and make sure that our kiddos get it. So.
Is there a future for Buttercup in the WNBA? It seems as though that's absolutely the case.
Well, I definitely, she's a strong cow, and she has a lot of jump there, so it's probably because of all of her diet. So definitely, Buttercup's going to be in the NBA.
I was going to ask Buttercup if she needed an agent for her negotiations with the WNBA. She's not here. I'll work on that later. But that does it. That wraps it up for another year of the Big Cheese Sculpture here at the Indiana State Fair, presented by the American Dairy Association Indiana. And winners drink milk. Visit winnersdrinkmilk.com.